Well, Nick Dixon is at Carly's Allotment in Essex this morning. Nick, what sort of impact has this incident had on the community there?
Morning to you both. Well, I mean, obviously everyone's just appalled by what's happened. They've been doing their best to help and support Carly in any way that they can. I mean, just being here this morning and seeing the allotment, it's really devastating, actually. I mean, I know it looks fine, but essentially what the Vandals have done is the salt that they've poured over here has just absolutely killed any chance of anything growing here. And since September of last year, Carly's just dedicated her life, really, to this. And she's grown hundreds of onions, potatoes here, and they've contributed to over 1,500 food packs for the community. Carly's here this morning. Hi, Carly.
Hello.
So this is something that people have kind of been relying on to a degree over the last sort of 6 months, haven't they?
Most definitely.
And how are you feeling about it all?
Gutted. I was devastated. Who would do such a thing that would affect so many people?
But the response for you, though, has been overwhelming, hasn't it?
It literally has. I feel like I've been plonked in the middle of a whirlwind. But amazing response. I'm so, so grateful. And honestly, it really does mean a lot.
Good. And, guys, just being here and seeing what they've done, it is hard to imagine why anyone would do something like this. Just horrific.
Carly, it's just extraordinary. I was looking at I saw your clip and I was heartbroken for you. The idea that because I know how much time and effort goes into tending and looking after an allotment. What made you want to do it in the first place, Carly?
Because I heard the cost of living was coming, and last winter we went without heating. So it would have meant we went without food this year, and obviously I can't do that. So I had to think to myself, what could I do? What can I do to make a change? And thought back to the olden times and thought, do you know what, kids, let's just rip the garden up and grow as much as we can to help as many as we can, because I know what it's like to live like this, and it's not easy. And if there's a possible chance we at least made a change in someone's life, that was worth it.
You know what's really extraordinary, Carly, is that often we hear lots of heroic acts. You wrote a whole book about it, Ben, you know, about what the great, good work that people have quietly got on with, and you are one of those quiet heroes. It's extraordinary for people to think that not only were you struggling, but then you had the foresight of mind to think about others. Is that how you've been have you always been someone who thinks about others? Because I don't think it comes naturally to everybody. I think we often think about ourselves first. But for you, thinking about others and thinking about yourself seems to come at the same time.
Because I know what it's like, and I've lived it, and I wouldn't want that for anyone else. I know how hard it is. And if I can make a change by teaching people this way of living, to help yourself to be able to get through it and have food on your table for your kids, it's worth the shot. Even if it helps just one person and I teach one person, it's worth it.
And were you a gardener by nature? Have you always had green fingers? Because I can tell you what, I can kill a plant in 2 minutes on my windowsill.
I've literally never grown a carrot in my life. I don't know what came over me. I call it the Noah's Ark experience. I don't know. I just, all of a sudden, I wanted to feed the world. That was it.
It's extraordinary. My wife has a lot of veg that she grows, Carly. I know how much time and effort and what a challenge it is to get those things to grow. I also know the joy that she gets when she finally gets to pull that veg out. What sort of challenges have you faced? Ignoring what happened on the weekend, but in the run-up to that.
I want to get it across, it's not as hard as people say. It's seed, soil, water, that's it. Simple. And I think so many people are afraid of doing that because they're worried about doing it wrong, and it holds people back. And gardening is so much fun. It literally relieves so much stress. Look what you can do. Just look how many people you can feed just by putting the seed, soil, water. Don't think about all the hard ways of growing things and you must get it right. No, make it a fun experience. It's good.
It's just fantastic. It's lovely to see. We're looking at footage of you all down there. Go on, Nick.
Yeah, I was just saying, Ben, we're here this morning, the crew's here. I feel like we should get stuck in and help. So we've called in a few favours, Ben. We've got quite a few volunteers from the local community. We've got gardening celebrities in, we've got pals, we've got friends, neighbours in this morning. We've had hundreds of bags of topsoil which have been donated, which is fantastic. We're just getting that organised. There's a digger over there ready to help us as well. There are boxes and bags of seeds to try and turn things around here and make a difference in the next couple of hours or so. So we've got a lot of work to do. Danny Clark's here. Danny, let me just interrupt you for a second.
Hello, Nick.
How did you feel about seeing that video, the TikTok video?
If you excuse the pun, it was a real assault on the land. I felt absolutely disgusted. And, you know, with the help of these volunteers here, we are going to get this land sorted out.
And talking about sorting it out, what can we do in a short space of time?
Well, basically, we've got a digger over here there that's coming in. It's going to take up the old soil, the toxic soil, and we're going to replace it with nice, fresh stuff. And then Carly is going to be able to plant away.
Good stuff. OK, guys, we've got a bit of work to do here. Got some proper hard graft. Come back to us later. And hopefully we'll have made a big difference here.
Nick, you keep saying we, except all you've done is talk. I haven't seen you roll up your sleeves.
Yeah,
and
where's
get
your
sweaty.
spade, Nick? Where's your hoe?
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's plenty of tools here. I see myself taking more of a sort of supervisory role this morning, but I am willing to do something. I just don't know, actually, if I'll be more of a hindrance than a help, but I'm willing to help if
Carly looks
necessary.
worried.
There's always that worry. Well, look, we're going to be checking in with you guys. You
Yeah.
carry on,
She
Nick.
does.
Thank you very much. And Carly, thank you too. We're going to check in with them a little bit later on
okay.
to see how they've been getting on. But amazing to be able to get the community together. Horrendous that she's had to go through that it came from such a really awful
and of course, the one question you
experience.
don't is who on earth would do that? Like, who on earth could she have annoyed in the community who would want to do that? It's just outrageous.
When she's serving so many of them.
It's just, it's despicable. But anyway.
Lovely to see the support. I think also the GoFundMe page. Can we have a look at where the GoFundMe page is?
Quite a few big names have
I
put
think
their money where their mouth
with
is to.
£4,000.
Well, that was
challenge.
her aim, wasn't it? £4,000.
It's up to £220,341. That can now be all put towards a meal on Me With Love, which is run by Carly to look after that community. And that's going to go so much further now as well, isn't it?
It's astonishing.